आनन्दलीलामय विग्रहाय हेमाभदिव्यै छविसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So actually, um, so today we are going to start chapter 10 from the book Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. But I have been thinking that I sing this beautiful prayer, this Anand Leela, Anand Leela Maya Vigrahaya. So our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is in glorification and offering our obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anand Leela Maya Vigrahaya. Hemabha Divyai. Hem Abha. Hem means gold. Hemabha Divyai, very effulgent, Divya, transcendental. Hemabha Divyai Chavi Sundaraya, very beautiful, effulgent sannyasi, golden, molten golden color sannyasi, very young, youthful, so beautiful, so attractive. And how is his form? He's Anandamaya. And he's full of his Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of pastimes, Mahaprabhu's pastimes, beautiful pastimes. Hema Bhativai Chavisundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya. What is his main act? Why has Mahaprabhu appeared? In no other form has ever the Supreme Lord come to give the highest. But in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Lord Krishna has taken the mood of Srimati Radharani and has come to give us nothing less than what is the ultimate goal or ultimate destination or the ultimate point that that somebody can really achieve, the best that is there. So Anand Leela Maya Vigrahaya Hemabh Divyai Chavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprem Rasa Pradaya, to give Mahaprem Ras, not to give some ritualistic that you do this havan, this puja, or you do some some magic mystical things. No. Tasmai Mahaprem Ras, which is the highest, that is Unnata Ujjvala Ras. That is what Shriman Mahaprabhu has come to give us. And Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya, he's giving, distributing freely. In fact, in South India, when Mahaprabhu went, when we read the pastimes, you will understand what it really means to distribute freely. Mahaprabhu would dance, sing kirtan and dance in ecstasy, and he was going to different temples, and while he was on the way, suddenly he would just go and embrace somebody, and bas, that person has already got Krishna Prem. That person also starts dancing, saying Hari 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 Hari. And that person may have never even taken the name of Hari, but Mahaprabhu just goes and embraces Alingan. And with that Alingan, that person has already received this Krishna Prem. Maha Prema Rasa Pradaya. Chaitanya Chandra. Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. That is the beautiful prayer. Therefore, this prayer is my favorite. Mahaprabhu's glorification. So we come back to chapter 10, the beauty of Krishna. Krishna is known as Madan Mohan because he conquers the mind of Cupid. So He's attracting Cupid, Madan. He's Cupid is getting mohit by Krishna. So therefore, Krishna is Madan Mohan, one who is attracting the mind of Cupid. He is also known as Madan Mohan due to his bestowing favors upon the damsels of Vraja and accepting their devotional service. After conquering Cupid's pride, the Lord engages in the Ras dance as the new Cupid. So Lord becomes the Cupid because he destroys, conquers the pride of Cupid. Uh, uh, the pride of Cupid is that there is no one more beautiful than him. The Lord cuts down his pride and then he becomes the new Cupid and he does the Ras dance with his Vraj gopis. He is also known as Madan Mohan because of his ability to conquer the minds of women with his 5 arrows. What are the 5 arrows? The form of Lord Krishna. The taste, when we take the Krishna Prasad, smell, the divine fragrance that emanates from the transcendental body of the Supreme Lord. The Charan Tulsi, if somebody takes the Charan Tulsi and smells it, takes the fragrance, and then when somebody accepts it, both the things, they are purifying the taste, their sense of smell as well as the tongue. Both ways it is getting purified. So this Charan Tulsi, Maha Charan Tulsi, instead of just directly taking it, honoring it, one should first smell it, because actually the four Kumars, they were in the transcendental platform already, but they were actually finding, um, they were in Brahma Gyan. But when they were crossing these Vaikuntha planets and they smelled they got the fragrance of the Charan Tulsi, that is the Tulsi leaf that is there in the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. With that fragrance, they got so attracted, their minds became agitated. Oh, what is this fragrance? And they got purified. So, therefore, we should always smell this Charan Tulsi and then we should honor it. The sound of Kirtan, because Harinam is non-different from Krishna, and touch. When we are doing Archa Vigraha, when we are doing Archa Vigraha Seva, so we are dressing the deities nicely, we are offering flowers, we are putting nice jewelry on the deities, so the touch. So this way, Krishna is conquering the minds of women. The pearls of the necklace hanging on Krishna's neck, the pearls of the necklace hanging on Krishna's neck are as white as ducks, and the peacock feather decorating his head is colored like a rainbow. His yellow garment is like lightning in the sky, and Krishna himself is like a newly arrived cloud. Now just imagine if some person, ordinary person of the material world is wearing a colorful, on the head some blue color, some rainbow color, if the garment is yellow color, and the person maybe some other other, other complexion, like a dark complexion or something, that person would look like a clown. But this is Krishna. He is not of this material world. He is transcendental. And as soon as somebody sees Krishna's this form, there is nothing more attractive, there is nothing more magnificent than this form of Krishna. Krishna is wearing a pearl necklace, and these pearls are shining bright like a white duck, as the example is given here, the white swans. And the peacock feather is rainbow in color, beautiful effulgent peacock feather on the head of Krishna. And what is the color of his garment? It is as bright lightning, like lightning in the sky. It is bright yellow color, but it is looking so magnificent on Krishna. And what is the color of Krishna? Krishna himself is like a newly arrived cloud. Just when the rainy season comes, it has not rained yet, but the first fresh clouds come and you see up in the sky and you see, wow, it seems like, okay, maybe it will rain today. So it's not completely dark or black, but it's a light grayish, bluish, blackish hue. That beautiful cloud, that is the color of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So the gopis, Now, the gopis are like food grains in the field, and when the cloud pours rain on those grains, it appears that Krishna is nourishing the hearts of the gopis by calling down his pastime rain of mercy. Indeed, the ducks fly in the sky during the rainy season, and the rainbows can also be seen at that time. Krishna freely moves among his friends as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan, and when he plays his flute, all the living creatures, the mobile and the immobile, are overwhelmed with ecstasy. They quiver and tears flow from their eyes just by looking, just with the sight of Krishna, just by listening to the flute of Krishna. Oh, Krishna is playing the flute. Krishna is calling us. Just with that, everything starts shivering. Everyone starts shivering, quivering out of ecstasy. Tears start flowing from their eyes out of happiness and out of that separation. That when we are going to meet our beloved, when we are going to see him. Krishna's conjugal love is the summit of his various opulences. He is the master of all riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. And out of these, his perfect beauty is his conjugal attraction. Such perfect conjugal beauty eternally exists only in the form of Krishna. No other form of Krishna. No other expansions, no other incarnations. Whereas his other opulences are present in his Narayan form. As Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described the super excellence of Krishna's conjugal attraction, he felt transcendental ecstasy, and catching the hands of Sri Sanatan Goswami, he began to proclaim how fortunate the damsels of Vraja were, reciting a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.44.14. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he has taken the mood of Srimati Radharani, so as soon as he started describing the beauty, the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna, immediately he became ecstatic. And in that ecstasy, he held the hands of Sri Sanatan Goswami and he started reciting this verse. गोप्यस्तपः किम् आचरन् यद् अमुष्य रूपम् लावण्यसारम् असमूर्ध्वम् अनन्यसिद्धम् दृग्भिः पिबन्ति अनुसवाभिनवम् दुरापम् एकान्तधाम यशसः श्रिय ऐश्वरस्य. I may not have read in the right meter, the way it should be read, but please bear with me. What great penance and austerities the damsels of Vrindavan must have undergone, for they are able to drink the nectar of Krishna, who is all beauty, all strength, all riches, and all fame, and who is the essence of all beautiful bodily luster. So Mahaprabhu is telling this. Mahaprabhu is reciting this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. And what is the meaning of this verse? Mahaprabhu is saying that what great penance and austerities the damsels of Vrindavan must have undergone. These Vraj Gopis must have already done so many austerities and penances that we cannot imagine that now they have become these Vraja Gopis. Gopis means one who drinks every moment in every form with all their senses, the all absolute beauty, strength, absolute riches, absolute fame, everything, the essence of the beautiful bodily luster, everything that Krishna possesses. These gopis are drinking every moment. They are able to relish that every moment. They must have done so many austerities. They must have undergone so many penances, life after life, birth after birth, that now they are getting this great fortune. So, this is what Mahaprabhu is saying. The body of Krishna, the ocean of the eternal beauty of youth, can be seen to move in waves of beauty. And there is a whirlwind at the sound of his flute. Whenever Krishna plays his flute, there's a whirlwind. In Bengali, I think it's called Ghurnijhor, if I'm not wrong. So it's a whirlwind. Those waves and that whirlwind make the hearts of the gopis flutter. Tuck, 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 tuck. Flutter means when the leaves move, and or sometimes we see some birds, they are fluttering their wings. So the hearts of the gopis flutter like that, like dry leaves on trees. When there is a whirlwind, the dry leaves on the trees, they flutter, and then they are carried away with the wind. And when those leaves fall down at Krishna's lotus leaf, they can never rise up again. So these gopis also, as soon as Krishna starts playing the flute, they are like the dry leaves on the trees, on the plants. They start fluttering because the wind is blowing so heavily. They start fluttering and then they are carried with the wind and they fall at the lotus feet of Krishna. And then they are inseparable. They can never get up once they have reached the lotus feet. There is no beauty to compare with that of Krishna, who is the origin of Sri Narayan and all the other incarnations. For no one possesses the beauty that is equal to or greater than Krishna's. Otherwise, why would the goddess of fortune, Mother Lakshmi, the constant companion of Sri Narayan, give up the association of Lord Narayan and engage herself in penance to gain the association of Krishna? I repeat, Mahaprabhu is saying to Sri Sanatan Goswami that Krishna's beauty is incomparable. Krishna is the origin of Lord Narayan and all the other incarnations, but none of the incarnations can possess beauty which is equal to or greater than the beauty that Krishna himself possesses. Otherwise, why would the goddess of fortune, Mother Lakshmi, who is the wife of Sri Narayan, the constant companion of Lord Narayan possesses all the other qualities except for the mentioned qualities that we saw above. Other than that, Lord Narayan also possesses all the qualities. Lord Narayan is also very, very beautiful, and his form is also so beautiful, so transcendental, everything. But why still the goddess of fortune, who is the constant companion, who is the wife of Lord Narayan, and Lord Narayan is non-different from Krishna, still wants to give up the association of Lord Narayan, and then Mother Lakshmi, she engages herself in penances in order to gain the association of Krishna, who is the same, her husband only. Such is the super excellent beauty of Lord Krishna, the everlasting mine of all beauty. It is from that beauty that all other beautiful things emanate. We'll discuss on this part, Krishna willing, tomorrow. For now, we'll pause our reading here. And thank you very much, dear devotees. Thank you so very much for your very kind association. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Jai Pataka Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Jai Pataka Swami Guru Maharaj ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
हरि हरि बोल
Jagat Guru
श्रील
Srila
भगवत
Prabhupada ki
माता जी
jai.
की
Shri Guru Maharaj
जय।
ki